Thank you very much, Nancy, and thanks, Faith, for that beautiful introduction. I am really grateful. You know, there is a famous biblical quote about the only place a prophet is without honor is in his hometown. And tonight, I've actually been honored in my hometown, and it just feels like $1 million. When I graduated from Western High School in 1966, a Las Vegan could attend University of Nevada, Reno, which we thought was in the wilderness, or Nevada Southern University, which graduated 29 students in 1964. And during those days, my mentor, Marjorie Dickinson, her husband was Jim Dickinson, for whom the first library was named at UNLV. And she taught all three Lowman children all four Lowman children at 3 different high schools as they opened up in town. And you remember those days, Las Vegas, Western, Clark. And by the way, Keith Bowman and my sister were in her class at Clark. When I returned in 1974, after graduating from Redlands in 70, I decided to get a second bachelor's degree in music and enrolled at UNLV. UNLV had become a university by then, and a very fine one. Just think about the 29 students in 1964, and the statistics I found online said that in 2018, UNLV enrolls 30,000 students in 350 areas of study. It's really something. During that 1974 year, I had a music theory class from a really wonderful professional musician named Dr. Kenneth Hanlon. He's over here. Little did I know that Ken Hanlon, who is now Professor Emeritus and former Chief Administrator at the university and Music Department Chair and all of those things, little did I know that our lives would be intertwined, our working lives. So when I came back from my first job working for the University of Southern California and came back to UNLV, Ken Hanlon and my father, Zell Lowman and Virko Bali, incorporated the first Las Vegas Symphony, the Symphonic and Chamber Music Society of Las Vegas, and I was, of course, there begging for money, which I got good at. And then Ken Hanlon, after I started my little music camp in the mountains, Ken Hanlon invited us to come to the university and set up what now is the Nevada School of the Arts, which was the conservatory. And then when I got a wonderful opportunity to go back to Idlewild and refurbish its summer program and start the first boarding high school for the arts in the western United States, Ken Hanlon came along and devised the first programs and served as its director the first 2 years on leave from UNLV. So would you join me in thanking Ken Hanlon for what he's done? The really true important outcome of founding something, some of us have these gifts of being able to convince people to do things and being able to encourage people. But the really important thing is that those good ideas survive and endure. And here tonight to show that, after just celebrating their 40th anniversary, is the leadership of Nevada School of the Arts. And that's Patrick Duffy, the CEO and president, Shakeh Gulkasian, and Mary Straub. They're over there. And the other thing that the other person that's here to represent that endurance, that longevity, that importance is my successor at Idlewild Arts Academy, one of the leading arts education leaders in this country, if not the world, the president of Idlewild Arts and the head of the school, Pamela Jordan. Pamela? Okay. Now just a short lecture and I'll be done. What is it that makes a good organization, right? Or a good institution? It's a noble or important mission. It's the excellent realization of that mission. And then it's the resources to do it in a very high-level way. You're here tonight celebrating UNLV and helping to provide some of those resources. It's critically important. So is the mission. I think about how important my work was, and what gives me a sense of pride is how many wonderful lives have been assisted by the education received in all these places. These are young people that are now famous artists that populate the symphonies, that do everything that we see in our culture, including acting and dancing in many of the organizations you heard about tonight. As I grow in age, I'm often told by others that the ability to found such things, thanks, the ability to found such things happened because it was the 70s, or because there were certain economic times, or there was a certain helpful political climate. And to that I gently say balderdash. It's not true at all. Those opportunities exist now the same way they existed in the 1970s. Yes, Las Vegas was growing, but it was important that we grow it as a cultural city as well. The 1800s philosopher Samuel Butler said this one quote that I really like: "All progress is based on the innate universal desire of every living organism to live beyond its means." And that's how organizations grow. That's how UNLV grew. They get ideas, they dream, and they push out there and and then they have to build the resources to catch up. And it's really true. Given the fact that times have changed in our country, and that we now have a new generation of social entrepreneurs, and that we have government funding certain things and not funding other things. If you look at how much money is allocated for each student at UNLV, you'll find that it's partly a private university and partly a public university. That's not a lot different than major universities around the country. Now, what does that mean? Should we all be upset about that? Well, we could be. But the important thing to say is that calls for partnerships. Partnerships with community, partnerships with donors, partnerships with friends, partnerships to build things, as well as partnerships with government and business. If I were a young person now, I would probably be building charter schools for homeless kids in the inner cities of this country using the arts. That is available to any young entrepreneur who wants to do it. Those problems are here to be solved, and those opportunities are available all the time. So when a young person says to you, "I don't really know what to do," tell them you have a few ideas. So, 2 last quotes for you and I'm done. Sorry for the lecture. Goethe said a very long time ago, "Art is long, life short. Judgment difficult, opportunity transient." And that sounds to me like go for it. Is that what it sounds like to you? And the other one is William James, the famous American philosopher, who said, "The great use of a life is to spend it for something that will outlast it." Thank you very much.